and been working behind the set as well. So it's all sort of happened because I started off in theatre effectively. Jobs and things that I've worked on, I've done a lot of BBC dramas, period things, period dramas, as well as a couple of Marvel films that have been shooting in the UK, Netflix, Amazon Prime, things like that. Yeah, it's definitely been a plethora of like a wide range of different things that I've been lucky enough to work on. Jobs that I've done have been, I've been a stand-in, which is more of the crew side than anything else. I've been a runner, an AD. I've worked or helped with the locations department and also with SFX. Generally, as a runner and a stand-in, you get to see all different parts of the departments. And I'm one of those people who, if people are moving location, I'll ask whoever's next to me if they need any help. Because being a runner, you don't really have any equipment to move and to lug around. So it's always nice to make friends and meet new departments and just say, do you need a hand? Which is basically how I got involved with everything, is just chatting to people. What did I enjoy the most least? The hours are pretty tough. You're working probably maximum 13 hours a day, but that doesn't include travel. Most of the time that's for most departments, you'll have a pre-call on different days. So that's where the shooting day will start at 8 o'clock, say 7, 8 o'clock. And your pre-call will be an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours before that to get everything ready. And you usually have that if you're moving location, just so that you're set up and ready and you're not wasting the actual shooting day. And obviously that includes breakfast as well, which is one of the benefits, is that you do get fed on all sets. The best thing is probably meeting people and being able to collaborate on projects outside of the big job that you've just worked on. I've made loads of friends for life. I've met my boyfriend on a film job. And it's one of those, you never know who you're going to meet or who you're going to work with in the future. You could just be work experience on one job, but somebody spots you and goes, they've got a great work ethic. I would love to use them 2 years down the line, and they'll have your number because it's all on the call sheet. Everything, all the information about you, about all the crew members, it's all on the call sheet. So people can refer back to it and say, oh, who was that person that came in for 2 weeks on this job and helped, was really useful, was really proactive. There will always be a way that they can find you again. So that would be probably my biggest lesson, is you will meet everybody again. It's such a small world. Yes, there's millions of jobs happening all at the same time, all over the UK, but you will meet people again. So it's always best to leave a good impression. The next question. What's it like watching back something that you've been in or helped create? Pretty epic. The first time that I ever saw myself on film, or major film in a cinema, was All the Money in the World by Ridley Scott. I had a one-day shooting scene playing Talitha Getty, who was a real life woman, was the stepmom. She had no lines. It was just an ode to her, to include her in the film. And I went to the cinema on my own because nobody else was available to go and watch it at midnight, because that was when it opened. And I cried because I was really proud of being able to see my face on a big screen and just go, that is what it's all about. That's the feeling that carries me through, is being proud of yourself for creating whatever it could be. It could be a short film, it could be a big blockbuster like that, but just having that moment of going, yeah, I did that. I was a part of that. I was part of the team. And I still get the same feeling when I've been a choreographer, or a stand-in and your name's in the credits, you sit and you wait until the end, you see your name and you go, yeah, I was there for 6 months, 7 months, however long, 3 weeks, and your name's included, and you just go, yeah, that's pretty cool. I remember that. I got paid for that. I was actually working, which many people take for granted. They're like, oh, I've got to go to work, or I'm on a job for 6 months. They get halfway through, you keep complaining about it. And then you actually think, well, hang on, I'm living the dream that everyone else wants to do. Everyone wants to be in film. Yes, it's not the most glamorous, but everybody wants to be involved in it in some way. And yet you've got the opportunity to say, yeah, that was me. I did that. I remember setting up the tents, or I remember moving 34 extras from one location to another location and organizing all the buses, or part of the catering team, or setting up the sound, there are literally, the list is endless about what you can do on a TV.
Sorry, Corinne, if you can, I don't know about everyone else, but it's paused.
Could be internet issues.
Yeah. Give it a second.
Do you love it when the Wi-Fi plays up? Yeah.
Give her. Oh, I am the host now. I am the host now. It is just. Oh, she texts me. Technology. She's 26. I heard 20 years, and it was like, been working since she was 6 in it. Whoa. I asked just before everyone joined.
Yeah.
Just give it a few minutes. Finn, if you've got any questions, put them in the chat, by the way.
Wouldn't it be better if we just said them out loud?
We're going to edit ourselves out anyway if we do ask them, because we just need to edit it down. Just saves us,
Yeah,
and
right.
she said just put them in the chat.
Yeah, right then. If that's how she wants to do it, that's fine.
Do I look like a child now?
You look fine, Andy.
It feels weird and naked. Oh.
Goodness me, don't know what happened there. Sorry about that.
Happens.
Yeah, I think it was my actual house Wi-Fi that's just gone down, but I'm now hotspotting, so it's all good. Where did I get up to? Oh, could somebody just write back in the chat where I got up to with the questions, because it's disappeared for me.
Sure. You were just saying about watching something back that you've been in.
Yeah, it's just great to know that you're a part of something, and that you were the ones who made that magic happen. Everyone needs TV and film. Here we go. As a woman in the industry, have we lost someone, or has he just turned his camera off?
I'm just getting up my question.
No worries. As a woman in the industry, were there any extra challenges or issues that you had to overcome? Being brutally honest, I think in every single industry, not just TV and film, every single workplace, there is always a misogynist. And TV and film historically has been a very male-based industry. I have experienced challenges and issues with that. But what I would say I have noticed within the last probably 10 years, even just before the whole Me Too movement, is that they now have departments and more of a strategy in place for people to report issues. with whatever it may be. And that's obviously both for male and female. It's anyone can go and speak. It is a very open industry, which has its obviously pros and cons, because everyone feels like they have a right to say something. But yeah, it is tough. You do need a thick skin because people get stressed, people get emotional when things aren't going right, or when things are going right and people want to celebrate, and suddenly it can go too far. It's almost like a football crowd, that 1 minute it's all peaceful and happy cheering, and the next minute it's kicked off. But yeah, it can also be tricky working with actors who feel like they have a right to do things, say things, because of who they are in the industry. That is kind of an issue from America, that they get treated in America very sort of held to the highest regard, put up on a pedestal. They sneeze and everybody runs at them with a tissue. It's very wipe the floor beneath their feet a situation, do you know what I mean? But over here we don't really stand for that much, which when you do get actors who come over, that can be a bit of a friction point. But in the different departments, generally you'll see the majority being male, but you do see women in each roles, which is incredible to see, because you wouldn't have seen that sort of 20 years ago. Even 15 years ago, it was touch and go as to if you would have a female in the grip department, which the grip department supports the camera team, and they do all the heavy lugging with weights and moving the dolly, which the camera sits on. It is a very physical job, but if you're fit and healthy and you can move things around, then why not go for that department? It can be very laddie, but that yet again, you can either fit into that, or you can make them see actually you don't need to be like that. It very much depends on the person, but it has changed recently, with people being more aware of what they're saying and how they're saying it and why they're saying it as well. The best way is just to speak up, go to your HOD, so go to your heads of department. If you're not sure who that is, it'll be on the call sheet, it'll say who each of the bosses are for each department. And also to speak about it and call it out there and then, I would say is probably the best thing to do, because if you hide away and shy away, if the person is a bully for any particular reason and feels like they can then pick on you because you're female, because you're male, because of, I don't know, whatever, you're new to the industry, you're new to that department, if they feel like they can pick on you, they might do that if you don't speak up there and then. If you actually say, I'm sorry, but that's unfair, or I don't like the way that you just said that to me, you can then have an adult conversation. And if you can always tell the people that aren't willing to have that conversation and to shy away from it, in which case you just go take it higher, just take it to your HOD. If they don't do anything for any particular reason, or they don't think it's serious enough, take it to a producer. There's always a producer hanging around on set that you can say, I'm sorry, but please can I have a quick word? I've taken it to my HOD, blah, 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 blah. This is the situation. And just get it out there, and other people can then help you deal with it. Because there's all sorts of things that happen on sets that you just think, I'm not qualified for this, I don't get paid enough for this. So if you take it higher, they are the ones that are qualified and that are paid to help you deal with it. What would I like to do for future work? I mean, more acting, definitely. I'd like to be in front of the camera more than behind the camera, because that's what really inspires me. But I would like to be able to bring in more diversity within the TV film industry. So people with disabilities, giving them the training, chance, the opportunities to be able to step into a role that they would like to try. Like who knows what people's special abilities are and who are going to be good at certain things unless you give them the opportunity. Where it's quite a closed shop in TV and film. Like everybody has their role and they already have the people filled in those jobs. So to get into the particular roles, unless you know somebody or you can get work experience, it's difficult to open the door. Same with acting, same with most departments, because they have their team and they just move from job to job to job in their team. And unless somebody leaves or gets ill or gets pregnant and moves away or whatever, it's difficult to find those opportunities to jump in and step up. But once you're in the door, it's very useful, which is a bit what it's what Fieldcrafting UK, which is how I know Andrew through, is that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to give new opportunities to people who are underrepresented, and allow them the opportunity to step in and to step up, because it is difficult to get into the industry, but once you're in, it's easier to keep the momentum, as it were. Yeah. Any other questions? I'm not sure. Did you send me some through on email, Andy?
They've all been covered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions at all?
I don't.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say I don't think so, but I have got today I've been offered an opportunity to go and work on a film set after I finish with this, doing some assistant directing just through so somebody that I know produced a short film with I always forget his name, he was Filch in Harry Potter, and she also helped to produce The Silent Child. I don't know if you saw that won the Oscar.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go and work with them today, but obviously it's my first ever time being on a film set and I'm a bit nervous. Have you got any kind of advice that I can take with me?
Have your phone on silent is probably number one. It's amazing how many times people forget and have their phone on loud and it goes off in the middle of a take and everybody turns and looks at you. It's happened to me one of my first times on set. Number one, put your phone on silent. I would just say watch everything, ask questions to the right people. So whoever you're there to meet, your friend, who I'm guessing you're going to be working with your friend.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so ask her lots of questions or ask them lots of questions. And just watch other departments, because ADing isn't for everyone. I find ADing quite frustrating because you are a parrot a lot of the time. You just repeat, somebody else says it to you, you repeat it to other people, they repeat it onwards, and you just feel like, where's the individuality in that? Like it's just shouting at people to tell them to be quiet or tell them to move, or finding where the actors are if they've gone off for a wander or whatever, and making cups of tea generally. Especially when you start out, there's lots of tea making. But yeah, watch other departments, either have a conversation with them, and if it's the right time, if it's on a lunch break, generally you can spot who's who. Sound department, massive headphones on. Grips generally are outside smoking or lifting heavy equipment, and lighting and rigging department are usually up a ladder. So generally it's pretty stereotypical when it comes down to that. But yeah, just keep your eyes open and see if anything is right for you, other than obviously the AD department. Get yourself behind a monitor, a camera, so that you can see what's happening on the other side of the camera. And yeah, just if they shout, there's a thing called crew show, which everybody comes in and watches a dress run, a rehearsal of the scene. Depending on the space, usually they try and limit it to HODs or the people that need to be in there. But if you can get yourself in that room and watch, it's very interesting to see how the director works with the actors, how the gaffer comes in and just says, okay, so we need to light from here, we need to light from there. The camera crew, the DOP will organize where it all happens instantly. And everybody sort of disperses and runs around and collects the bits of kit and equipment that they need, and they all come back. It's a bit like watching ants. It's probably the best way that I would describe it. Is one person says something, they all disperse and they all come back a few seconds later with the right components. Just to watch and soak it all in, be a sponge is the best thing.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Can I just ask, how has your work changed with COVID and things? Like over the past 18 months, has it changed much, or just
there are less people on a film set now. Before, you would have friends and family of the actors down, you would have sort of 300 extras, loads of work experience previously, pre-COVID, but now you'll have one or two in each department, whereas before you could have sort of several. I would say it's probably a bit more stressful, like since COVID, everybody obviously wearing masks. There's someone could say something but be smiling behind their mask, but you not realize. So tensions are just generally a bit higher. But if you just go in and go, nothing's personal, like it's all about the work. That if someone snaps at you for X, Y, and Z, it's not because of you, it's because somebody else has annoyed them, or they didn't have breakfast, or whatever. There are so many new factors that if you're cool and calm, then you'll be the one that everyone turns to and goes, they're reliable, they can deal with whatever. And you don't get pushed along with the stressful hype that sometimes can happen on TV and film sets. Obviously time is money. Don't dawdle around and be so laid back that you're horizontal, but get the work done and do it clean and efficiently. And but that's probably the biggest change, is just the amount of people on a film set, which sort of makes it harder because it's more on the communication side. Whereas everybody could watch a crew show before, now only one person's watching it, and they have to then go and tell you, I need X, Y, and Z. Whereas before you could just see it and you could pick it up quicker, rather than just being told, I need whatever. You before can learn, okay, I reckon they're going to need this, and you might be wrong, but then you then get told anyway. So yeah, it's harder to learn because you can't view as much. But yeah, it's still busy. There's still lots of people, obviously lots of departments, but less so than before, I would say.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Any other questions?
I think that's it. Thank you very much for that, for taking the time.
No worries. If you do think of any other questions, just pop them over to Andy and he can email them to me, and I can answer them. More than happy to answer more questions as when you